do another video on this whole blackout thing. Um, some are saying it could be an EMP blackout. Some could say are saying that it could be a internet and cellular device blackout. And some could say it's or saying it's both. Either way, I've been reading up on some things as far as I found out that have been some military drills that have occurred around the country in the last several weeks. And I always note that, or have been noting that when something significant happens and we find out that there were military drills, like these so-called false flags and these shootings, from that to, I mean, just larger scale events where you do the research afterwards and you say, oh, they was. It's funny how the military was having this particular exercise in this city and this particular thing happened. So I don't know. Some are saying fall of next year. Some are saying it's just going to pop off right in January. I don't know. Um, like I said, to me, it just all depends on what type of, are they just looking to wipe out everybody down to 10% of the population? Or is it just one of those things where they just want to wipe out enough and have enough damage to where the system has to be reset? Now, I was thinking about the fact that so if they collapse our dollar, wouldn't they have to change everything? Like, if our dollar collapses and isn't, any, I mean, we have business dealings with other nations and trade and things like that. So I'm just like, how would that be reintroduced? Like, okay, well, we're back and we have this particular currency, or is this going to be like a whole domino effect type of thing where this is ends up being more than just us? I didn't notate or the fact that Russia, uh, not Japan, China, and Iran has a warship very close. I think it's off the Venezuela waters down in Venezuela. Now, and that could be for various reasons. Um, the way Putin and our president was all chummy chummy, I don't know. It's like that, are they there to, just in case, the plan B, just in case we don't do what we're supposed to do? I mean, or the powers that be doesn't flip the switch or whatever's going to happen. Or, so if they're just, are they just there just in case? Or are they part of the plan? Is it going to be blamed on them? And then we go out and so-called overseas. I don't know who, Iran. I don't know who. It would probably be Iran. I don't know. We'd say, because we always like invading lands with people of color. Some type of color pigmentation to it. So we love to go ahead and run up in their stuff. And then when it comes to all these other countries, like Russia, we kind of play footsie with them. Because we try to, okay, and I give them warnings and stuff. Like, unlike, like I said, all these other countries that are filled with people that have some type of melanin content in their skin, we just run up in there. We don't even care, gung ho. Like, okay, that just lets you know, just even on the playground, you're not going to run up on somebody that you know is a formidable opponent, not too quickly. Okay, you're gonna size them up. Weigh out your options. Somebody that you know you can beat up. You're just going to be quicker to take off on them or whatever, right? Or to check them or whatever, right? So so I don't know. I mean, it could go either way. I don't know why they're there per se. I don't know. I don't know. I know you kind of, because I know a lot of people that are on following this are religious, I guess, because I see hear a lot of Bible scripture, and I just wish it that would like take a back seat and just look at what's happening, and just state that stuff. But if we want to go there, I guess, what it say, all of the China, Russia, and Iran supposed to all march on Israel. And if you notice, even with this current president, we are we are no, I'm just saying, yeah, we are protecting Israel. We give them millions upon millions of dollars annually. I want to say to at least tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, annually. Yeah, and still we have stuff that's jacked up in this country. We have a decaying infrastructure. People are poor and hungry. People aren't getting paid livable wages enough to, to stay off of aid. There's people on, getting food stamps and working full time. So there's and then like I always say in my other videos, like there's always this look over there while we over here. We want you to pay attention to this or these group of people or this particular policy while we're over here doing something else. For example, the politicians and the media want us to pay attention to welfare and all these little micro spending budgets or whatever. Meanwhile, why the hell are we giving all this money to these nations, especially Israel? Money and weapons. And so some will say, I've heard some talk about Israel being the new America, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know how it's gonna follow. I just know that aftermath. Like I said in my other video, I think I give it like I think people work together for a couple weeks. You know, After that, it's all gloves off. Um, and I think the thing that people forget about is one, what are they going to do with all the what this happens? What are they going to do with all the prisoners? And if the EMP blast happens, are they locked in their cells, or will the cells automatically open because the power's off? Or at least in some facilities, depending on how how they're locked up or whatever. Um, then people aren't thinking about the fact that there are people will click up, meaning that not only you have your neighborhoods or your cliques or households or whatever, um, camps or whatever you want to call it. We have a lot of hate groups. So if it gets bad, there's no, I mean, you got to understand, there's no police officers. There's no fire. When the lights go out, no one's coming. It's going to be fires, everything. 'Cause people are going to be in their house trying to, keep themselves warm, doing stupid shit like lighting, putting, flammable materials inside their homes, and then all of a sudden it's burning down like idiots. But you have hate groups. So you have all these people that, well, you have the Aryan Nation, you have the Klan, you have the alt right, all these hate groups who are going to protect their group, and people who look like them. Okay. You have the Black Panthers now. You have Islam, a nation of Islam in America. You know, um, I've heard that they have land and things, and they're they're not protected, but they're well organized. So to a degree, they have I'm sure they, just the way those guys are, they have a plan of, if, they have protocol. So I'm sure anybody that's in the Nation of Islam will have protocol, will have designated areas and whatever, and codes to get into them areas, blah 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 blah, and resources and things like that. For the average um, inner city black person, this is what I fear because of the children. Because they're very, not the fact that they're unorganized, but I'm sorry, they don't think. I mean, they do stupid and irrational shit, all these young people. So I could just see it's falling out, the fallout. And I know there's going to be a group of them taking it serious, and they're going to be, they're going to call it looting, but everybody's going to be doing the same shit because everybody's going to realize that the power's not coming back on again, and they're going to find whatever they can to make sure they're feeding themselves and protect their themselves and or their peoples or what have you. But you're gonna have a large majority that are just going to be doing stupid shit that will end up making them vulnerable to attack because they already go around like can't nobody say shit to them. And so just like when we were kids, but it's like on meth. Like every kid always thought that they knew more than their parents or they knew more than the elders or the older people. It's just this new generation from about 25 under 28 under just really think they know what the fuck they're doing. And it's like on steroids. And I think it comes from a place where because they have had to survive, and they surviving and being tactical and smart is two different things. Okay, so I think I worry about them. They're going to be vulnerable, and anybody they run into is going to be vulnerable too, until you end up having, hopefully we don't have a situation where what you'll probably end up happening once the resources get low, you're going to have more well organized fractions of Americans, which are probably going to be mostly white folks that are going to then, and mostly hate groups, but because you got the biker club group like the what's that, the Hell's Angels and some of those bigger biker groups too. So anyway, so those groups are going to then start coming into the inner cities, because they're more men. They know more about tactical and things like that. Approaching and going in door to door. Like and stuff like that, house to house, and clearing out stuff. They know more about that type of stuff. And so they're just gonna come in and start taking shit once their resources run out. So that's a big thing that I think people are overlooking. And then like I'm jumping back and forth, but I was thinking about, okay, so if the lights go out, do you go to work? But I'd assume not. And again, all of this is just me brainstorming, thinking out loud. I don't know, throwing things out here. If we go to work, do we go to work? I mean, but if you're trying to collapse the dollar, I would think that they don't want business to run at all, period. So I don't think you go to work. And then if that's the case, what if you're renting? What happens? But then I was like, well, I guess if the dollar is no good, they don't even care. I mean, it's not like, oh, pay me rent. You might have some that's coming to try to take that has run out of resources, that's going to try to come to your house or apartment and try to commandeer your stuff because they've run out of resources and you haven't paid the rent. I have an apartment. My landlord actually lives on a private, not a private, but a very reclusive or very I say about 2.5 hours away in the woods off a lake. So I know mine won't be coming because it's deer and you know what I mean. So mine's not coming. He's probably just would just give up the building as burned down. Okay, mine's not coming because he's in a way better place than, even though I'm not exactly in the inner city. I'm not in the rural areas either. So he's just way out there. So I already know. He's good. He got all types of. He can hunt. You say he has a water source. He's surrounded by foliage. Small town of maybe like less than 300 people, or something like that. Maybe 1,000 in the summer when it's hot. So he's fine. But I don't know. So I was like, I wouldn't think that people would really care. That's my thing. But you never know. Like I said, you might have them landlords that are coming through wanting to take what you have because they've run out of stuff. And so they're like, yo, you're squatting at my house. You haven't paid rent, blah, blah, blah. You will have some of that. I'm not saying across the board. I'm just throwing out all these things that are going to play out. I would say the first to die, we already should know this by common sense. Anybody that needs any medical care or any medicines. If you are on daily that you need daily medications, you're not gonna last long. You may last a few weeks, depending on how much meds you have. So if you need electrical or electricity to run whatever it is to keep you alive, you are going to die immediately. Then comes the people that are like diabetics and things that need insulin or heart medications and things like that. Because once that stuff runs out, you're done. So what we're gonna see is the first to die if you don't die by like, the looting or some aftermath of the, maybe you get hit by someone that lost their mind, and like, oh, the sky is falling type of thing. They just like running, plowing people over or something like that. But more or less, the people that are gonna die first are people who are the elderly and the sick, and they will die in the first couple weeks. And that's kind of that. So yeah, it's very sobering. I know how to grow food and things like that, but I'm at a disadvantage because I do live in an apartment. So, and I don't if you have anybody that I could go to that lives, in a small town or way out somewhere. So, that's my disadvantage. So, I think people who can't get out. Oh, and luckily, but there are some pros and cons because luckily I live in a state where I mean, you can, in every couple, mile or two, there's a body of water. Within a mile or two, there's if it's a small pond, if it's, a river, a lake, and, if you have the right filtering things to filter the water, then you'd be okay. But outside of that, I just think I'm at a disadvantage. I think that you should, if you are in an apartment, definitely take and board up your windows. I would take the wood doors if you're on the first floor, and if you're not on the first floor, just secure the first floor. I know some places, they have windows that are real low to the ground, even if that's the basement and that's where the laundry is. Board those windows up. Me personally, I could be wrong. I'm not a survivalist, but I would be boarding them up on the front, on the front, outside, and on the inside. So they get to that first layer and they be like, "Shit, okay, maybe they just kick it down." I don't know, but that's what I would do for that first floor. Um, I'm sure a lot of people will leave. So what I would suggest, once everybody kind of leaves, because there'll be a lot of people that's gonna leave their apartments. You might have to commandeer somebody else's apartment to get higher. You want to not be on the first floor. Board up any windows. If one can reasonably get to your window, even if you are high, board up those windows. Um, I don't know, man. This is crazy. It's just crazy to even be thinking about this. But it's like something that hate to say, man, it's something that I feared. I'm trying to see if I can. It's something that I actually feared, though. I feared this because I drink this. So it's kind of, I'm not saying I'm some damn seer or anything like that, but it's creepy to say the least, because you just don't want bad shit that you dream about to be true. Especially the bad shit that I've dreamed about. You know, I've told a dozen of people, not a dozen, but a handful of people. I'm pretty sure I've told a few people, and it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like something we've never experienced before. I will say that, you know, poor people will have a slight advantage. And the reason why I say that is because across the board, poor people are used to making a way out of no way, being resourceful, using their resources, using what they have. So they're at an advantage, and if they're poor and they know a little bit about survival, maybe know a little bit about, you know, hunting, or even just what grows out, what type, grows out in the forest, or, you know, I guess if you live in a concrete jungle, I don't know, somewhere like Miami, that's just gonna suck. If I was in Miami, I'd just steal me a fucking yacht or something, somebody's boat, and like, and make sure it's gassed up and get the fuck off the fucking, like drive that motherfucker up shore, or up the coast rather, or something. I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be somewhere like Miami, like in the heart of the concrete jungle. There's no way. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hunker down, and no trees to go up in, and no forest area you can bug out in. Like, where I'm at, there's areas of foliage, woods. There's woods. I live in a very green state. Has a lot of woods, a lot of greenery. So I'm just like, even in some of the parks are so massive, and they have like large wooded areas, like huge wooded areas. So, I mean, that's if you need cover, if you need to, say if something was happening, you can't stay in your house. And that's another, I be seeing these pet preppers talking about, the stockpiles. But I don't, in reality, if you live in a city, you're not going to be able to use it. What I would suggest, though, and I was thinking about this myself, but what if I would suggest is, if you can, hide some of it somewhere where you could get to if something went down like this. Like, spread it out. Like, okay, so, and I would assume this area would be somewhere safe, somewhere where you could maybe hide out for a few days or a week or something like that. So I'm not just saying that. Obviously, it has to be somewhere very close off, or something. You know, I don't know, abandoned building, maybe. And I'm just thinking out loud. But everybody, I mean, if you're, I don't know, I don't know. I guess I'm not smack in the inner city, but I'm not in the deep suburbs, deep suburbs. So I don't know, but it's just a sad thing. And I know it's going to be a shock to a lot of people. A lot of suicides is going to happen because people just have bought into the reality in which was we have been given and we were born into, and without question, you know. And some people have altered their bodies, altered their mindset, altered, tucked in their esteem, and all this stuff for this, this American dream, or just the construct in which they have us living in, which is, buy these things to look like this, and just to keep up with the Joneses, and buying, spending, and collecting things that don't you can't take with you when you die. Judging other people because they don't look beautiful, or they may be fat, or they may be ugly, or retard, or what I mean, just all these things they've bought into, and that's gonna matter anymore. Only thing you're going to do is think about not being spotted by anyone, keeping food and water. For women, that's the being spotted is key, because if you have children, or if you're even by yourself, it's just for your body. Assaults. He will be assaulting women and children. This is going to happen within days, because all the people that know that the lights isn't coming on and the police aren't coming, they're going to be like, fuck it. The ones that can, held back and, kind of restrain themselves, they're going to be like, fuck it, I might as well take me some. I'm going to die anyway, and that's fucked up. So for a woman, it's going to be very, very important that you not be spotted. If you can link up with some other people, especially if you have resources, or you can do things, you know, um, make stuff that's pertinent to survival. It could be, I don't know, things that would make you an asset, make you not want to kill you, and make people not want to protect you. Okay, yeah, that would be a plus. So women and children are going to get the brunt. The It's going to be very unholy and evil. It really is. But anyway, um, I'm still puzzled though about Iran and Iraq and them. I just I'm just trying to figure out what role do they play? Why are they over here? Like I said, my good best guess is to make sure that they do that we follow through, and they're the backup in case we don't follow through. So for them to even be over here, this is all orchestrated by the people who actually run the nations, not America, the people who run the world. So I can just see them saying, okay, just in case they don't, you know, just in case they renege, gonna need you three to go over there to make sure. And this is what you, if they do try to renege, this is what you do. You implement Plan B, and Plan B might be to hit us with some nukes, or, you know what? And the thing about it is too, like they always talk about these nuclear weapons. They don't even need that anymore. Man, since this whole blackout thing, I've been like researching and watching stuff and looking up information. We have there's technology like sound technology to fucking make you go crazy. Okay, make your head explode, make you like there's neutron bombs. There's what I mean, where you just take out all the people. I mean, they can release a bio warfare. I mean, they don't necessarily need to, make this land radioactive. They don't need to make any place radioactive. I don't even know why they're still using nuclear weapons, because they don't even need it. They have, even though nuclear weapons are damaging when it comes to damage to people and the wildlife and the soil. Okay, it's just total annihilation. But The other shit that they done came up with since is far worse because of the fact that they can kill humans without even, you know, touching the soil or contaminating the soil. The structures will still be in place. They don't even need to do. They don't even need to do to even use it. I don't even know why they use. You know, why do we still have an arsenal of nukes when they have stuff that's far worse? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just to keep up with this whole thing of, you know, this charade of, you know, because we don't, most people don't know and realize that they have weapons that are far more superior than a nuke, where it's more precise and they could keep, you know, they can kill humans and keep everything else intact and just wipe humans out or anything, humans or maybe wildlife too, you know, because it depends. I mean, they have stuff, they have all types of shit, man. I mean, it's, they're fucking around with particles and atoms and shit. Come on, man. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to, you know. I know it's kind of long and drawn out. I just know that it's gonna be pretty bad. It's gonna suck pretty bad. I don't know when. Some, like I said, some people say January. Some people are saying sometime in the fall. I don't know, and you know, who knows? It might not even happen this year. I don't know. I don't know because we've been here before. I remember back when the whole 2012 thing. You know, I even heard of some people even going into the what's that part of Arkansas, Ozarks and stuff like that back then because of everything. You know, everybody's talking about okay, it's they're gonna do it now and they're gonna, you know. So this is something that has been talked about. So who knows? Who knows? All we know is if you're smart, you know that the economy, you know, the stock markets and shit like that, they'll crash it when they want to crash it. We know it's just a house of cards, and when you're in that stock market, you playing them games with them. You know, it's just how much money can you get before they pull the plug? Because it's all made up and it's all constructed. It's not real. It's a puppet master thing. So who knows? It might even happen this year, but there's a lot of signs that say, you know, a lot of subliminal messages that say that it will something. Like I said, it could be EMP, it could be outage for the cell phone outage. But you know what? I just remembered it was a lady that it was a YouTube, not a YouTube, but it was a Facebook post like it went viral last year. And it was this black woman that was saying that they were testing EMP. I don't. It was on the East Coast somewhere. I want to say like North Carolina or something like that. And I just remember how people were just like, "Oh, bitch, y'all didn't even happen. It didn't even happen." Woo, woo, woo. But it might have been some truth to it. And I think that we as people are just like, oh, because it doesn't, you know, if it's something that's not like, wow, just right in front of your face, total destruction, and you don't believe that it takes place. So what I now in hindsight now, I believe that they did do a test because they were just doing tests too at beginning part of this December. So I do believe that that lady was right. It's just that, you know, everybody thought that okay, everybody's cell phone wasn't going to work and stuff like that, and you know, and stuff, and then so they clowned her after when people woke up and their cell phones worked. But see, when you make fun of the people that are telling you that the, you know, those people, you pay attention to them people that saying the sky's falling. Okay, there's some truth into that. It's some truth into that. You know, and sometimes things are happening that you cannot actually see that's happening. Things are getting set up. But yeah, I remember that. And you know what too? I'm sorry, I was going to end this, but I just thought about it too. Like, so if we have an EMP, what's going to happen to the nuclear powered power plants? Are they going to? That's why I'm like, is this really for real? For real? Like, is it, or is it going to be one of those false flag things where they say that they, you know, the power they have an EMP blast, but they just shut shit off because if they all the reactors, even on the East Coast, blow, it's a done. You can't. Like nothing would be you like what I don't know for 1,000 miles you wouldn't be able to live anywhere near the eastern seaboard. Like it would be like that whole area would be done. I know it's a few up in the Midwest and things like that, but I'm like a lot of them are in and quite coincidentally, a lot of them are in population center where there's a high amount of African Americans. I find that kind of yeah. Coincidence? I don't know. But these nuclear power plants are where there's a lot of black people. So maybe that is a way to just to get rid of us. You know, like I mean, we'd eventually die. But then again, like I said, you would. Why waste the land just to make it fake? Just to fake it. Why waste the land? I mean, you wouldn't be able to live nowhere on the seaboard. It would be done. Why waste it? Anyway, so many questions. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's fucked up though. Mankind. It's almost like we're alien to this planet, man. I can't believe this. Something is wrong with us. I don't know what to say. It's just something is wrong with us. Just I mean, if you sit back and really think about, and most people can't though. But maybe it's not those people like me that can really just step out of the hole and just be like analyze like this is crazy. Like to even we are so far removed from higher self. It's ridiculous. Man has destroyed the earth. Men shouldn't rule. They have destroyed peoples, plant life, animals. Men men are fuck ups. Galactical fuck ups. They just don't think, no compassion, no nothing, no understanding of repercut. Don't fucking care. Just ego. Mine. Just go. Oh, I want to take on your mine. What's mine is mine. What's yours is mine. Go take war. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Impale. Just mankind have been so destructive. Just destructive.